Hello. Okay, so this is the social deception game tier list. Basically, social deception is a genre in which many players are put into a lobby or a game, and each player is given a role. Uh, Most of the players will be innocent, and they have to complete a task or do something in order to win the game. And then there's another role where someone has to kill everyone and get away with it. And the social deception, because those people have to get away with it, can do whatever it takes, like lying, to get away with their crimes and win. Sometimes there's a third role in these games where there's an added weapon or something. I don't know, we'll get into it. And you can see here that there's Minecraft. I wouldn't be worried about that. There is a game on Hypixel server, on the Hypixel server, excuse me, called Murder Mystery. It's very similar to Gary's Mod Murder, so that's why I'm adding it. I've played all of these, and two of these games are exclusive to Gary's Mod. We have Murder and Trouble in Terrorist Town, and we'll get into those two. So, the ranking of these games will be on numerous factors, such as maps or playfield, how many there are, players, gameplay, content technically. And I guess that'll really be it. Maybe I'll talk about more. Honestly, don't know. I didn't plan too much for this video. So let's start with everyone's favorite. Sorry if it's a cutoff. I think you can tell what it is. It's Among Us. So, anyone that knows me personally knows that I don't really like Among Us. That might be kind of crazy to say, and I might get shunned for it, apparently. But Among Us is very, very bare bones. I think that anyone can play it, including my goldfish. I don't even own a goldfish, and that's the issue. It's widely available. On Steam it's $5, which is the version I play, and on mobile it's free. And there's nothing wrong with it being a free game, but there is an issue with the content of Among Us. There's only 3 maps. The game's been out for I think 2 to 3 years now. And the last map was added a year ago, and that was Polis, I think, back in November of 2019. So that was the last time they added a map, so a year ago. And they're adding a new map, which was supposed to come out early this year. I think it's going to come out before the end of January, which is good, but the team that made the game, Inner Sloth, is a very tight-knit team of only 3 people, now 4 with a community manager. But that's the issue. There's only 3 people, 4, on this one game, so content comes out very slowly. And they were considering making an Among Us 2, a second game. And they decided not to, which is okay. And then I think they were going to put in a new engine. They were going to upgrade their engine, which they decided not to. They decided to keep updating Among Us, which is not good. When you deny a new engine, you are seriously robbing yourself of gameplay, features, and content for the future. And that's not good. You only have 3 maps. The tasks are easy as pie. Thank God there's new ones coming, but I still think they should have a little bit more difficulty to them. And that's another thing, right? Like, everyone can play the game. Anyone can play it. Like, a 7-year-old could play Among Us. If you play with friends, Among Us is so much fun. For an hour or 2. And that's the problem. I picked up Among Us, played it for like 8 hours, 10 hours with my friends, and with friends of someone else. But I would always get bored after an hour or 2. Didn't matter who I played with. It's just a very lackluster game, doesn't have much to offer. And they are seriously robbing of future content. Next game we have is Deceit. Deceit is a free game on Steam, and I'm putting it in A tier. Unfortunately, Deceit has a really big issue with maps too. Deceit was working on a map last year, or the year before, I already forgot, for Halloween. And I think it took a year to develop. I think it's been added now, but I'm not sure. I think they have 3 or 4 maps. maybe 5 if the Halloween one would be the new one. And it's kind of iffy, man. I don't know. You gotta add new maps. The game does offer seasonal events like Halloween and Christmas things with skins and whatever, and it has a skill tree and has seasons and it resets every season or whatever. So it kind of gives you a reason to keep playing. And Deceit also has a very graphical uh, upgrade compared to a game like Among Us. Deceit has it's a 2v6 game. Two people being um, two people being monsters in disguise, and they have to collect blood in order to actually attack. Everyone else is scavenging for guns and getting items to hold back the monsters as they reach the escape after 4 floors. And it's a horror game. I love horror games. They are extremely scary. Unfortunately, I think Deceit has a little bit of a cheater problem and a little language barrier. I think North American servers get non-native speakers a lot, which would be okay, but in a game where like communication's important, you can't really understand each other. It can be kind of tough. All these games really have that problem. It's not just Deceit, but I think Deceit has it the most. Deceit has a kind of small player base. I think it has about 1,000 to 2,000 players daily. I might even be wrong about that. I'm not sure, but I like it a lot more. Next is Mindnight. So if you asked me like 2 months ago where I'd put Mindnight, I'd probably put Mindnight in B tier, but I'm going to have to put Mindnight above Among Us in C tier. Mindnight is also kind of lackluster, also kind of bare bones. It has a very nice art style. It's pixelated, but there's no gameplay other than discussion. I think it holds up to 12 players or 10. I don't know, you can make custom lobbies with your friends. Most of these games you can make custom lobbies with your friends, which is a very nice touch. But you have some very, very try-hard people in Mindnight, and it can get kind of on my nerves. And again, there's no gameplay whatsoever. It's literally just people in a circle talking, and people are trying to do nodes. And if there's a like there's a voting thing, right? And you have to select who's going to do the node. And if a hacker is in that selection of people, like there's 10 people and you have to call 4 people to do the node. And if a hacker is in that, it's going to say the node was hacked. And if they hack 3 nodes, then they win. And so you kind of have to deduce who in that circle was a hacker. It'll say how many were in it, but it won't say who it was. And that can kind of lead to a very, like a 50-50 kind of game where it's more based on chance. It happens a lot, actually, and it's kind of frustrating. And sometimes that just leads to people yelling at each other. And if you're playing with randoms, you get tryhards saying that you're stupid or something, or you're really bad at the game, and then they'll disconnect or something. It's frustrating. But the maps aren't necessary, or they aren't. They don't change the game at all. It's just a visual style. And that's really it. Mindnight's pretty bare bones too, but I like it a little bit more compared to Among Us because it has a little bit more of a like, I don't know. I like how it looks more. That's really it. Alright, Minecraft Murder Mystery. Hypixel Murder Mystery is B tier. Now, there are a ton of maps for Minecraft Murder Mystery. I can't count how many. I was actually going to do a tier list several months ago on this because someone requested me to, but it would take a really long time to get pictures of every map because no one else has made a tier list for it before. And so it's a wide variety of maps, very unique to each other, I should say, which is cool. Players, you get some really cool players, really nice players. Sometimes you get people who don't really know how to play the game, which is okay because Minecraft it's a very wide genre of players of ages and personalities. And sometimes they will shoot you if they have a bow as an innocent, and you will die, and they will also die, which is unfortunate. But sometimes you find the murderer, shoot them, and you win. And you get gold, and you can go and spend that on some cosmetic items, which I like. It's really not that awful. And sometimes you get players that can be kind of rude or whatever and leave the game. But compared to the other games, I think it's pretty fine. Gameplay, you need to find 10 gold to get a bow as an innocent. As a murderer, you just need to kill everyone. Your sword is a one-hit kill. The bow's also a one-hit kill. If you pick up 10 gold and get a bow, you only have one shot though, so you gotta make it count, or you gotta pick up 10 gold again for another shot. But if you're a detective, you can shoot as many times as you like without penalty, really. Murderers can throw their knives, similar to Gary's Mod Murder, which is up next, actually, so I won't have much to talk about. You can make private lobbies in this, but you have to be MVP++, which is a monthly donation to the server. I think that sucks, kinda, because if you want to get like a gang to play, someone had to spend their money monthly in order to keep being able to do that. Alright, Gary's Mod Murder. I'll also put it in B tier. Gmod Murder is very lackluster, but I love Gmod. I have well over 1,000 hours on Gmod because there's just so much to do, so many game modes. But we're talking about specifically murder. You can basically play on any map that supports the game mode. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands. Some of them good, some of them bad. And your goal as a bystander is to just run around, spam help, scream, whatever, talk to your friends or whatever, and find objects on the map in a green outline to get evidence. And once you get enough evidence, you get a gun and you can shoot it once. I think it's like Minecraft Murder. And the person with the knife can run, which is a key thing to notice. No one else can run. And they can throw their knife and whatever one hit kills. And there's ragdolls, which is really funny. Other than that, there's not much to it. Your only real big thing for Gmod Murder is that there's new maps every time. That's really the only new thing you can get out of Gmod Murder. Gameplay. Alright, wait, I just said that. Players. If you're playing with friends, it's gonna be fun. Again, with all of these, it's gonna be super fun if you play. But if you're playing with random, sometimes you'll get the person that shoots you because they're new. Or they just didn't know or something. And there's the people that will just miss their shot against the murderer. And it sucks, but people play games and sometimes they miss, sometimes they hit. So, next, push the button. S tier. I love push the button. It is exclusive to the Jackbox Party Pack 6 game. Basically it has 4 to 10 players, I think, in a spaceship. People have to do tasks and do stuff. They have to answer prompts, draw, stuff like that. And people that are aliens will get a prompt that's slightly different. And then when all the prompts or drawings are presented, then it's like, well, yours is different. You must be the alien. Or whatever. And then aliens get to hack other people sometimes, which will give them a wrong prompt. And there's like a little scanning thing to figure out who one of the aliens are, or to admit the role of someone without their permission, I guess you could say. It forces their role to be exposed, so you can find out if someone's innocent and whether or not you can trust them. And then anyone in the game has the chance to push the button. It's a little button at like the bottom left or bottom right, I think. And when someone pushes the button, the timer stopped. I forgot to mention, the whole game is on a timer, depending on how many people. And if that timer gets to the end, I think people are forced to vote or the ship explodes. I don't remember. So you have to push the button and send out people before that timer ends. If you get even one person wrong and one alien is still in the ship, then you lose. So you have to make sure you get all of them without fail. And anyone can push the button, and it's going to send you to like a little side of the ship where you're going to pick people to send out. And that will decide whether or not you win or lose. It'll pause the timer too. which is really nice. So people just don't press the button, and then people are forced to waste time. You're really only going to be playing push the button with your friends because you need a code in order to join. It's a game that you can see streamers playing a lot. It's kind of similar to Kahoot, in which like you send people close to you a code. Someone's going to show the screen, and then you do stuff based on what you're seeing. And if you're like being chosen for a prompt or something. Alright, Town of Salem. I'm actually going to put this in between Murder and Minecraft. Town of Salem. So I lied earlier. I have not played Town of Salem. I've seen gameplay of it. It looks fun, but I don't have people to play it with. Not readily, at least. And it seems pretty easy. But there's a lot of skins and roles in the game, which I think alters it a lot, and it's kind of weird to have to get used to. In these games, I don't like to mess up because I feel like it ruins the game for other people. So I try to like know what the game's about before I get into it. Town of Salem, I don't know too much about yet to get into it. Like there's so many roles, like there's arsonist, serial killer, I think, werewolf, I don't know. And then there's like neutral characters that are like bad and good. I think like they can kill people, but if you hang them, it won't matter. I don't know. It's really weird. The game's been out for a really long time. I think it's the oldest out of this group. Maybe TTT might be the oldest. But you can have up to like, I don't know, 15 players. I don't know. You can get crazy. You can like write down stuff in a book for when you die. People can like read your notes and whatever. It's kind of cool. Maps. I don't think there's any maps. I know you can change like your house and like your player as like cosmetics in the game, but I don't know much other than that. Players, you're playing with your friends or you're playing with randoms. Randoms might not know the game. I don't know the game, so I can't say that's something to be ashamed of too much. In gameplay, it can be kind of confusing. So that's why I'm leaving it in B tier. I've heard good about the game, so I don't want to say it's like awful. Alright. Next is Trouble in Terrorist Town. Trouble in Terrorist Town is going to be S in front of Push the Button as my favorite social deception game of all time. Now, maps. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of Trouble in Terrorist Town maps. Some are good, some are crazy, wacky. Some of them will have traps placed on it, specific gun spots, because it supports the map or because it supports the game mode. And there's a variety of mods that you can get to alter your Trouble in Terrorist Town game. Like you can give the murderer more weapons in their little shop. You can give the detective more weapons in their little shop. Doesn't even have to be weapons. It could be like tools. Like you can get Red Bull to make you jump twice and move 200% faster or something. It's pretty good. Again, there's a lot of maps, and the mods will keep adding variety to your game. You're not going to get bored easily of Trouble in Terrorist Town. If you're playing with your friends, it is so much fun. I've probably, over the year of 2020, played over 10 hours of Trouble in Terrorist Town, added all up together with my friends, and it's been quite a consistent blast of fun, in my personal opinion. The only real issue is something called RDM, Random Deathmatch. I already said that, I think, for Minecraft and Murder. But in Trouble in Terrorist Town, it is a big problem if you're playing with randoms, because Trouble in Terrorist Town, everyone has guns. Everyone can shoot each other. Everyone can cause harm. Now, if you're playing with friends, it might not be a big deal unless someone consistently does it. It's like, oh, sorry, man, I didn't mean to kill you, or, oh, it was just a joke. Oh, I get it. That was pretty funny. But if you're playing with randoms, people might kill you in RDM because they think it's a shooting game, and they can just shoot whoever. Now, servers with random people will usually have rules in place to where you can report a player if they RDM, which is good, where it'll detect RDM, it'll like warn the player and then kick them if they do it again. which can be good. But again, it might affect the outcome of the game, which can be really infuriating to some people. Because you could be like close to winning, and then an innocent comes around and kills you, and then they die to the murderer or traitor, as it's called in TTT. And then you lose the game, and it's like, well, I could have probably won the game if I wasn't killed. But in Trouble Terrorist Town, everyone has a gun. The detective and the traders have special guns that they can buy with points, and they earn points by killing innocents and detectives. And I don't know, it's just a lot more fun compared to the others because there's just so much more content, and you can change the game settings with the Gary's Mod console. Compared to Murder, there's not much you can change, or there is a lot you can change compared to Murder. And I think that's it. That's all I gotta say about these games. I'm sure there's other social deception games like Werewolf and whatnot, but those are board games, and I have not played Werewolf or Mafia or whatever it's called. Maybe one day I'll play those. Thank you for watching. I hope you can find yourself some new games to play other than Among Us. Some of these games you do have to buy, unfortunately, but I think it's worth it. Let me go over those real quick. Among Us is free on the phone. $5 on Steam. Mindnight is free on Steam, which is a PC exclusive thing. You can get Steam on your phone, but you can't play games. Minecraft, I think you have to pay $20 for. I don't remember. Town of Salem, I think, is a browser game, so you can play that, or on Steam for I think $3. Murder, you have to buy Gary's Mod, which is usually $10. Same for Trouble in Terrorist Town. Deceit is a free game, but will need a little bit of a beefy computer in order to run it well and be able to have fun. Push the Button, I think, is like $25 because it comes in a pack of games. Jackbox Buddy Pack 6 specifically. But that's it. Those are the pricings. These are my rankings. I love Trouble in Terrorist Town. Don't really like Among Us so much. So that's it. Thanks for watching.